Yeah. Can you turn me up? No. Hey.
It's time for the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan, one of the top real estate agents not only on the Grand Strand, but in the world. The featured in Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. We'll be talking to Blake Sloan coming up in mere seconds, but just want to let you know we've got a lot of ways for you to get in touch with him at Sloan Realty Group. You can call locally here at 843-808-SOLD. That's 843-808-SOLD. You can also go online to the website, which is blakesloan.com. Very easily, blakesloan.com. We'll repeat all that several times over the next 30 minutes. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get the show started. Here's Blake Sloan.
Good morning, everyone. Awesome show. Tons of great information. We have the brand new market numbers in hot off the press from last month, and a little curveball for sure. They're still great overall. We did see a little bit of a slowdown in terms of new properties closed. It's still better than it was last year, but also, if I look month versus month, we'll talk about and dig into kind of what that means. We're still in that inventory crisis, hit a new record in terms of inventory right now, which has been crazy. And so we mentioned it briefly last week, but we're actually in this new thing they're calling a super seller's market, which is even crazier and even better for sellers than it's ever been almost in any time in history. So we'll talk about that as well. We also have something, on the list that we did not get a chance to get to last week that I thought was pretty important, and it came from a WMBF news story I did with them last week that just really mentioned some people concerned about what's happening when they release the foreclosure moratorium, eviction moratorium, and some great information for anybody out there who may be thinking about that as well. Our team has some amazing success stories. We've been absolutely crushing it. We've been pushing super hard in really day and night every day to try to keep up. Everyone does have that look in their eye a little bit, just trying to keep up with all the craziest and buyers in town and people buying stuff remotely. It's wild right now. And our team has really been executing on a high level. Just got a brand new message last night from Barbara Corcoran. We'll talk about that and what she said. She congratulated our team for selling properties $40,000 and $50,000 above asking price by creating this auction effect. That's a virtual auction effect we do. We'll talk about that as well. 63rd straight week of the Corona COVID edition since all this craziness has come about. And Myrtle Beach has done very well in terms of real estate market, people relocating. We've really benefited in a huge way because people can now work remotely. We're seeing people retire earlier. We're seeing people move down here and even buy second homes just because they're ready to get out of where they were. And so we'll talk about that. We'll look at the overall forecast, what we're going to see the second half of 2021 as well.
All right, a lot of stuff to get to. And if you just tuned in for the very first time, you don't know who this Blake Sloan guy is. Well, it's very simple. He's been featured all over the place. He's been called the real estate whiz kid. You've seen him on TV with NBC, with Fox and Friends. You've maybe seen the magazine publications in Forbes, Wall Street Journal, Realtor Magazine, and others. Also the personal endorsements on this very radio station from Sean Hannity, from Glenn Beck, also from Barbara Corcoran, Gary LaVox. Put them all together, definitely unprecedented. There's just nothing to even compare. Now, in addition to that, Blake has trademark systems that he uses for both home sellers and home buyers. Can't give you all the secrets on those trademark systems, but more than happy to tell you the secret behind the whole thing.
Yes, and I think this is more important than any time since we've been doing this show. We've been doing this show for like 10 years now. And it was really always a big deal. And it was the why, the reason behind why I do the show, because I just see so many horror stories literally every single day of the week, especially right now because the stakes are so high and this huge mistake. And it doesn't matter, what type of seller or buyer it is. We see it in the high-end homes, super high-end homes. We see the same thing, in starter homes is everyone makes this huge mistake of thinking that all real estate agents are the same, and it could not be further from the truth, right? They make this mistake of just grouping everyone together, and the fact is it's not. The single most important variable that determines your failure or success as a home seller comes down to one thing only. That thing is the agent you choose, period, right? Not your wall colors necessarily, not your grass. It has to do with really the execution from the agent on the agent side. And why that is and you're selling a property, there's 118 different variables from A to Z. If each one's handled correctly, guess what that does? It puts money in your pocket, the property gets sold. If anything's handled incorrectly, aka they drop the ball at any point, and that could be anything right now from the price strategy and really with stakes being so high, it could be the day of the week it's listed. It could be how quick they respond to offers. It could be the quality of the photos, the order of the photos. Does your agent actually answer the telephone when a buyer calls that for sale sign to be able to try to buy it? How long does it take your agent to respond to a web inquiry online to get back to that buyer? All these details, if that ball gets dropped, are what makes or breaks you getting the most amount of money for your home right now, especially with so many nuances in regards to what's happening from the pace. There's things we've designed to be able to help us create a virtual auction effect for our clients. It gets multiple offers, drives the price up, and gets maximum equity for them. But overall system we've been doing, I designed a system, right? We identified every single variable. That's how we know there's 118. That's also how we know it's virtually impossible for one single agent to juggle them all. That used to work pretty good in 1992, but in today's time, you have to have a team and technology in place to help you really execute on those. And so what we did is we identified all those variables, create a system that's proven repeatable, that creates maximum leverage every single point. And so it creates a huge competitive advantage for our client. That system's called the guaranteed sold system. Only proven system sells twice as fast and for up to 20% more money than traditional methods. And it works very, very, very well. That's a huge difference in contrast from most agents that really just do the 3 Ps. You have one single agent who's trying to juggle all the balls themselves, trying to do everything. So they promise you the world to get the listing. They're really nice. They promise you anything you want, any price you want. Then the second step is they just put it to MLS. And 3, they pray that someone else brings a buyer from another company. Meanwhile, they're down the street hunting the next listing. And so that's just what you see most people have to do to survive. There's no system or process or system of processes in place to make sure they can maximize your hard-earned equity. And I bring that up because right now in today's market, anybody can sell a house. But the difference is, are you the one that left $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 of your hard-earned equity on the table? And we're seeing that literally happen every single day. I saw it happen last night with a separate person. We had somebody on a buy team that was making an offer on it. They would have got multiple offers, driven the price up, but the agent didn't advise the seller correctly. They just took the first offer they got that was at full price, and they did not play the game the right way to get the most amount of money for their seller. And it's sad, right? That seller has probably no idea they could have got $20,000 more for their property. So don't make that mistake, right? On the flip side, guess what? 100 plus variables on the buyer side, and it's more difficult than ever right now. And so the agent you have matters. The average agent on multiple listing service sells roughly 4 homes a year, which is terrible, right? There's not a whole lot of money to really eat with. They don't have a whole lot of knowledge of what's going on. They certainly don't have their finger on the pulse of the marketplace and what's happening. And so it's so easy to mislead them accidentally because they're not really sure of what's happening. And so what we did for buyers out there, we created a system that's proven repeatable. It's called the Unfair Advantage Home Buying System. Get you priority access to foreclosure, distress sales, desperate sellers, the absolute best negotiation and purchase price, as well as home inspection and all the way to the closing table. And so we pride ourselves on one thing. We tell our clients what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. And so if that means having tough conversations, we do it because we got to get to that ultimate outcome of success for our clients. And we do that every single day. And so you owe it to yourself, of your friend or relative that that may be thinking about buying or selling. If you listen to the show, have them call us to at least see what the system is like. Anybody we sit down with, it absolutely blows their mind. Even other realtors we meet with that are from other areas that find us online, they come in, we sit down and we show them the system, and it absolutely blows their mind. So you deserve that. You deserve the absolute best when it comes to your hard-earned equity. If you want to know more about that, reach out, call us, 843-808-SOLD.
All right, we're just getting started on the show. Coming up in just 1 second, as Blake said, we've got brand new numbers as far as what the market is looking like right now. It's still hot, but there's some interesting things to look at. That's coming up in a minute. And speaking of numbers, mortgage rates, what are they looking like right now at this second? We'll get into all that in just a second. If you would like to talk to Blake, it's easy to do. Give him a call at Sloan Realty Group. The phone number is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. Hey, if you were in the market to make the most money for your home, Sean Hannity here with some important advice. Now, look, I'm an active investor. I bought and sold a lot of properties in hot, cold, moderate markets, and one of the lessons I have learned is this: hire the agent that knows how to create the most demand for your home. Now, if I needed to create demand in this market, no question, there's only one real estate agent I trust if I needed to sell my home. I'm talking about Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. Now, he services the entire Myrtle Beach area, attracts hundreds of buyers every week, and sells a home on average every 24 hours. Now, that helps you generate multiple offers and sell your home for the most money possible.
you will have it bought for cash, and he offers flexible fees. Find out how much demand your home can demand right now. Call the agent that creates the most demand. Call Blake Sloan today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or online at blakesloan.com. That's blakesloan.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Myrtle Beach, I would hire Blake Sloan. His international marketing creates so much demand that if your home doesn't sell at a price and deadline you agree to, Blake will buy it. Partner with the agent I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Remember, get in touch with Blake at Sloan Realty Group at 843-808-SOLD or go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. Coming up in just 1 minute what the mortgage rates are looking like, but he teased it at the beginning of the show. Brand new numbers are in for the market. What are they looking
Yes, they're still crazy, still chaotic, still way up, right? But it's interesting if you watch month versus month. We saw some interesting changes here. There's a decline for the first time we've seen in a while. And there's a couple different pieces of this puzzle that may be leading to that. But also we've been tracking, if you remember, since COVID first started, we had to man, we got to get real-time data. Like, how do I check this every day? What's going on? So I started creating my own formula. In essence, we track every new property winter contract the previous 7 days. And so down towards the lockdown, it was like 300 homes a week, then 400, 500, 600. And at the peak, it was like 850 homes per week going under contract. And we've been averaging about high sevens to low eights the past probably 2 or 3 months. In the last 2 weeks, it was low sevens. In the last 7 days right now, for new properties that gone under contract, 649 properties under contract for right at $200 million in real estate. So there's still a lot, but in essence, 150 plus less properties a week going under contract. There is a limitation on that because guess what? We're in the lowest in history of inventory. So that is kind of happening a little bit. There is some things though that's interesting to watch from a sales standpoint. So looking at sales, the numbers are skewed just a little bit because of COVID lockdowns last year. And so I just want to preface that. So if you look at single family home sales last month, they show that they're up 76.1%, which looks really cool on paper, right? But if you go back to 2020's numbers, the worst month of the year last year for 2020 was actually May. And that's because those are the months that basically very end of the lockdown that we had here, at least from the physical lockdown when you couldn't, get a hotel room or anything at all. Sales were down because the previous 2 months before that, no one could really come in town and buy real estate. They still were, but like we had people sleeping in cars. They would drive from Maryland. They would find property. They literally sleep in their car, write the offer, and drive back, right? So, and that happened to us multiple times. And so I think you can see, though, not everyone wants to do that. So it hurt the numbers. So it was a little bit skewed where last May was the worst month of the year just because those are the months the previous 2 months are supposed to close. So now let's pre-framed. So it's showing 655 home sales this past month, which is technically a 76.1% increase. But if you compare that to the last 2 months, it's a significant drop. So here's the deal. In April this year, 2021, there were 770 home sales for single family. This month, only 655. And so you can see it's about 120 properties less this month closed than the previous month before. Now, the month before that, which is March, guess what? 766 properties closed. And so the last 2 months, you've seen a slight, pretty much even from 766 to 770 and then back down to 655. There's two main reasons, in my opinion, you're seeing this. One, obviously, there's just less inventory, so less things to buy. There's still a significant, demand and buyer traffic. Also, you got to remember that closed sales is a lagging indicator. So these closed sales last month probably happened 2 months ago. And so we want to just watch and see, but there is a little bit of softening, and that could be from two things. One, mentioned lack of inventory. There's nothing else to buy out there because they can't find anything. And two, there's just a little bit of buyer fatigue. They've just been trying. They can't get stuff. It's going over asking price, seeing people wait. And so we do want to watch and see what happens there. If I'm a home seller, though, I'm looking to time this thing. I do want to time it when I'm the lowest inventory possible at the peak of the season, because anyone's been in Myrtle Beach for a while, even though we're more of a year-round destination now, we're still seasonal, right? Everybody who has been here for any amount of time, it's not quite like it was when I grew up here, and they would flash the red lights would flash yellow in the wintertime. but there is still a seasonality to the marketplace. Like we find a lot of our buyers, anyone definitely has kids, relocation, second home, investment, or even grandkids, they're timing their purchase time with their vacation time, right? Well, guess what? The vacation time statistically happens more when school is out. And so we're coming into that sweet spot right now for that. And so I'm hoping to see a bump. I'm also hoping, and we're seeing that there may be a slight potential relief on inventory now that a lot of people that's in the older population have been able to get their vaccines. They're feeling a little more safe. There's a lot of properties we sold virtually that no one ever even went to the house until it's time to close because obviously people, they're more susceptible to that. The virus can obviously don't want people in their house. And so we're hoping to see a little bit of pressure relief on that. But it is going to be a number I'll continue to watch. If you look at the weekly sales are down 150 plus per week in the past couple of weeks. Also, the monthly down about 120 homes. We're going to watch, see what happens there. It could be a sign of softening. I've heard a little bit of whispers. Nationally, they're seeing a little bit of softening. But again, that's driven by one single issue here, and that issue is months of supply. And so here's the craziest part, the biggest part of the last month's brand new numbers is looking at inventory. Inventory is now at an all-time low once again. Last month, we were at 1.2 months inventory, right at 1 month inventory. What that means is it's a hypothetical equation where if there wasn't a single new home listed, how long would it take to run through every possible home on the market? And they were all gone. Well, they were at 1 month. Right now, we're at 0.9 months. So in essence, you're at 3.5 weeks of inventory. And so very, very low, a 78.9% decrease in the amount of homes for sale versus same month last year. And so I'm sure you can see with almost 80% less houses available, you can see how that would obviously create a decline in sales month versus month. And so that's something we'll keep watching. What it means, though, it is indeed a super seller's market. So sellers have a massive, massive, massive advantage right now. And what that means, too, is that you want to play the game the right way to make sure you can create the right effect to get your home sold for the most amount of money. Now, it all boils down to money, though, right? So looking at money, we're seeing, overall prices. That's something we'll kind of continue to look at, too. If you look at median price also dropped a little bit. So that could also be with you always want to dig into your micro market, aka my zip code, my neighborhood, because there are different types of properties that sell as other ones move out and don't sell. But here's an interesting fact: the overall median price is down, from the previous month. So in April 2021, it was $299,350. This past month, which is May, because we just got into June, the number is down to $290,000. So pretty much a $9,350 drop in median home price just in the last 30 days. And so, again, I don't see that as a huge alarm, but if I'm a seller, I always like to use data to make better decisions and help lead that in any way overall. And we haven't seen a decline in price since really way back early 2020 when the first COVID issues happened from April to May. And so that's just something to kind of look at overall as well. We do like to watch median price for that. The good news is average price is still up, which is great. Average price last month was up 30.9%, setting a new record, which is great. $388,781. So you're kind of seeing that peak there. It's up from the previous month in April, which is $378,694. And so great news there from the average sale price. But when you're looking at, median and you see a decline there for the first time in a while, you definitely want to kind of just note that and be aware. Now, again, this all depends on your price range, your area, all these things there, because this is the overall macro market of everything. The great news, showings have been up from last year. It is down a little bit from the previous month. So if you look at showings, the average showing was averaging 11.3 in April. It's down to 10.9 right now. And so you saw a slight decline in three main things here: buyer traffic, aka showings, right? Median price, and also in the amount of sales. Now, I don't think you're seeing a crash or anything, in my opinion, but a home seller, I'm coming to the hottest time in the market. If I'm thinking, debating about it, right, I know I could get that max amount of money and want to move into something else, I definitely want to take advantage of that right now. So if you want to know your options, reach out, call us, 843-808-SOLD. Condos, though, into condos really quick, they're doing awesome. Condo sales up tremendously, up 164% from last year, but that number is not fully accurate because the lockdown affected condos in a big way because we literally couldn't get in the front door of the condos to go show it. Like the security wouldn't even let us get past the desk. And so that doesn't necessarily count, but that's the overall part there. Last year, the worst month of the year was May 2020, only 303 home sales, but for condos. But there is a decline slightly from April to May. And so in April, there was 820 condos sold. May only 802. So you saw a decline there as well. I'm watching that month versus month. It peaked up from March 808, then 820, back down to 802. That's also has to do with the inventory shortage. Right now, we're down 80.4% in terms of the amount of condos for sale, which these are huge numbers that make a big difference. At 1.1 months inventory, we're also at an all-time low there as well. If you look at, back to January 2018, there was 5 months of inventory for condos. It peaked at 6 months of inventory, actually, in April 2020, which is when we had, a lot of the lockdown issues. And right now it's still an all-time low at 1.1 months. So interesting numbers there to watch. Looking at sales price, if you look at a median sales price, it's still going up, which is great. For condos, up 24.2% from the same month last year, which is great at 165 even. It was 163 the month before. And looking at sales price for average sale price, it's flat from the same month. Literally, it was 199 in April. It's 199, 344 last month into May. And so interesting numbers, right? What does that mean? Anything we're seeing the curve? Are we seeing the peak? I don't necessarily believe that. There's always, a little bit of dips and stuff here and there. There is some concern about the massive increase you're going to see, in some of these capital gains taxes. There's also some buyer fatigue. And so we'll keep watching that. The main thing that's most important right now is reach out to an expert who knows what the heck's going on. They have the data. They're studying the data, right? Most, people I've found buyers that are out there searching know more than most of the realtors out there because they're spending more time researching and searching than most of the realtors are. Our team's obsessed, right, with the numbers, with the data, with what's going on, because we want to make sure we can use that data to help our clients make better decisions. So one of those that's really helping right now is interest rates. Interest rates are actually really pretty good compared to where they were the past couple months. They're actually they're 3.11 last week. Right now for a 30-year fix is 3.13, which is great news there. Thankfully, the 12-month high, 3.45%. So we're still below that, which is good. A 15-year fixed rate right now, 2.54%. A 30-year FHA loan, 2.65%. A jumbo loan, 30-year jumbo, 3.12%, and a 5-year adjust rate mortgage right now, 2.25%. So interesting times for sure. I'm definitely going to need somebody who has access to this data to help make good decisions. But if you're a home seller, been sitting on the edge, listening for a while, or you have a friend or relative, say, look, you want to time that seasonality with the peak of the market right now. Make sure you get all of your hard equity. Reach out, call us for more, 843-808-SOLD.
Absolutely. Coming up, we've got more great stuff for you on the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan, including your hot buyers alert. We'll find out how many people are out there looking for your home if you list it with Blake. Also, success stories, and there are plenty of those to get around to. That and a whole lot more coming your way in just a second. Get in touch with Blake if you'd like to find out more about what you've heard on the show already. 843-808-SOLD. That's 843-808-SOLD. Or you can go to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com.
Hey, Myrtle Beach, it's Gary
What, about 5 minutes?
singer of Rascal Flatts. When I'm Moving On won the award for ACM Song of the Year, it struck a chord with folks who understand the challenges that come with
Right around 4 minutes.
Cool. We'll do the hot buyers and success stories.
If you're moving on, you want a real estate agent who will make selling your home easy and stress-free. An agent who's going to let you out of the contract if you're not happy with their service. That's why in Myrtle Beach, I can tell you that Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group markets your home on a whole different level. Now listen, Blake is so confident in his ability to sell your home quickly and for more money that he guarantees to sell it or he'll buy it himself. If you're moving on, trust Blake to provide your family a stress-free home sale experience. Find Blake Sloan online at blakesloan.com or you can call him at 843-808-SOLD. Start packing.
It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Coming up in just 1 second, we've got some great success stories to get to. Right now, though, it's your hot buyers alert, and these are hot. Blake and his team working with a ridiculous amount of home buyers that are all looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area. Could be looking for your home as well. If it's between $150,000 to $3.5 million, if you're even thinking of selling, contact Blake immediately at 843-808-SOLD. How many people are on Blake's website? He's got 61,819 active home buyers. Those are people that are on his website, not just on a weekly basis or once a month. They're on there probably every hour, looking to be the first to see every brand new listing.
Yeah, stalking, like Dave mentioned, username, password, account from all over. I got John Boito from Bradenton, Florida. I got Trina Myers from Greenville, South Carolina. I got Tony Tecco from Columbia. I got Clarence from Myrtle's Inlet, Boris from Myrtle Beach, Dennis from Myrtle Beach, I got Jennifer from Kutztown, PA, from all over. I got Bridgeport, Connecticut, Hilton Head, South Carolina. But the reality is we have buyers from all over. And why that is, because we outspend the average agent 100 to 1. If you want to know, hey, Blake, why should I call you versus my friends, relatives, my friends, cousins, babysitter, who part-time realtor? The reality is we have 61,000 plus active buyers. We put those buyers' eyeballs on your property. We drive up traffic. We drive up interest, drive up demand, which creates a higher demand for your property, which, as we all know, higher demand equals higher price. That's what our system's designed to do. And you want somebody who can actually advertise that to where the money's at, the Northeast, right? Coming from out of the area, huge opportunities there. And so if you're thinking about selling, if you know anybody, this is one reason I do this show. Is so if the coolest thing can ever happen is if you listen to the show and you refer your friend, a relative, or anybody, if you like them, don't like them, whatever it is, have them call us, because they deserve the absolute best service. They deserve to get the most amount of money of their equity. I'm seeing so much equity being stolen right now by people making mistakes and how they do it. So we got 2-3 minutes.
About 2.5.
All right, cool. Well, first thing, big shout out to my team. Got an awesome message last night on Facebook from Barbara Corcoran. You guys listening, welcome to go check. It's on my Facebook under Blake Sloan. But hey, Blake, it's so impressive to see how you're helping sellers and buyers navigate this extremely hot market. Your guaranteed sold system is getting sellers $40,000 to $50,000 over asking price for homes. Congratulations. So pretty cool there. Just show that anybody that's watching streaming on Facebook or on YouTube. But very, very proud of our team. We've been grinding hard, pushing hard, which is super awesome. Really quick, 2 awesome success stories. Steve and Jackie were looking to move to Columbia, South Carolina, to be close to family. They had a huge problem, though, because they had to sell their home in Myrtle Beach for top dollar to make the numbers work. But they also had to sell it fast because they already had found a home and had it under contract in Columbia before they called us, and it was contingent upon them selling their home here. We call that the delicate dance, right? Thankfully, they're recommended to us by one of the local success stories on this radio station. We came in, designed a custom plan, launched global marketing blitz, professional photos, virtual reality tour. Within 6 hours, drove in massive traffic, had 2 full price offers in the home. But most importantly, we negotiated the exact closing date that would work perfectly for them to sell theirs, buy the new one, and move simultaneously, which we've been able to do for any sellers. If you're concerned about that, we're masters at making sure we can negotiate that for you as well. Wayne and June had a home in Myrtle Beach. They recently decided they wanted to sell so they can travel the country in their RV. The problem was they need absolute top dollar to make sure they can take their hard-earned equity with them, obviously, to finance that on the road. They tried selling themselves for several months at that price with no success. No real buyers came in. Thankfully, heard about us on this radio station, came into us. We designed a custom plan, launched our global marketing blitz, professional photos. With just a couple of days of massive traffic, had an offer well above what they thought possible, allowing them to move on to their new lifestyle. And one really cool story I may have mentioned last week, we took it active on Thursday. 4 offers in 4 hours. All were sight unseen. This is for Jim and Peggy. And check it out, $30,100 over asking price. And here's the crazy part. They didn't even go inside. They haven't seen the inside yet. All done through technology, through the virtual reality walkthroughs we have. Well, this isn't just your old school, like my mom's virtual tours back in the day. This is virtual reality walk that you can walk through with goggles or anything else on as well. And so if you want to know more about that, reach out to us. We have the technology and the system to drive it up. But one thing I'm seeing, I got 30 seconds. They're seeing agents who are mismanaging their offers. They're just getting the first offer. It's a full price offer. They're accepting it, and they could just play it the right way, have their seller be able to give time to get buyers in there, drive the price up $30,000, $40,000. Don't let yourself cost that money. Reach out to us today.
Call today. The Sloan Realty Group. The phone number is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. Blake, thanks for all the great information as always. We'll see you again next week.
Thank you. I'll be here.
It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Selling your home doesn't have to be filled with drama or having to pay hidden fees. And your friend Sean Hannity here to tell you